Ever wonder what you might lose first when chaos erupts and law and order collapse? Picture this. The world as we know it has turned on its head. The once safe and structured society is now a breeding ground for fear, uncertainty, and opportunism. In a scenario where SHTF, you won't be the only one scavenging for resources. Looters, those desperate neighbors, organized gangs, and even the person you once chatted with at the local grocery store will be hunting too. Their motives? Not always survival. Some are driven by power, others by profit, and a few, well, they just want what you have. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? But knowledge is power. By understanding the mindset of these potential threats, you can be one step ahead, safeguarding your resources and ultimately your survival. Today, we will reveal the 12 things that looters will target first when SHTF. So be prepared, stay vigilant, and let's dive in. First on the list, not surprisingly, are food stockpiles. It's a basic necessity, the first thing to disappear from store shelves when crisis hits. Its high value and ease of trade make it a hot target for looters. Who's after it? Well, everyone from desperate families to organized gangs. Even the neighbor next door could be eyeing your pantry. And what would they do with your stolen food? Some will eat it, ensuring their survival another day. Others might trade it on the black market for other vital resources. And then there are those who hoard, using food as leverage to wield power over others. So when you're planning your survival strategy, consider this. Your food stockpile isn't just a lifeline. It's a potential target. Safeguard it well. Remember, food is a primary survival resource and an easy target. Next up are medications and first aid supplies. These items are in high demand when chaos ensues. Why? Well, pharmacies and hospitals can only hold so much, and they'll empty within days. Painkillers, antibiotics, and chronic meds become priceless commodities. And first aid supplies? Those are essential for treating injuries and illnesses when professional medical help might not be available. So, who wants these items? They're not just sought after by those with real medical needs. Looters looking to make a profit will snatch them up too, as well as black market dealers who thrive in such circumstances. What might these looters do with these valuable supplies? Some might use them for survival, sure. But more often than not, they're sold or bartered for other essentials like food, weapons, or a bit of power leverage. In a survival situation, medical supplies can be more valuable than gold. Despite the potential collapse of financial institutions, cash, gold, and valuables remain a target. You might think, why would anyone want cash when the banks have collapsed? But remember, chaos doesn't last forever, and people are always thinking about what comes next. Cash, gold, and other valuables hold enduring trade power, making them desirable for those looking to secure their future. Gold in particular has been a symbol of wealth and a form of currency for thousands of years, and its value isn't likely to diminish overnight, even in the face of societal collapse. Looters understand this. They're not just thinking about survival today, but about how they'll thrive tomorrow. With cash, gold, and valuables, they can trade for essential items, ensuring their survival, or they can stash them away, hoping to capitalize when order returns. Even in chaos, some things retain their value. When the grid goes down, fuel and power sources become a hot commodity. From gas and propane to batteries and solar panels, these resources vanish instantly when society's crutch of electricity is kicked away. Imagine a world without lights, without heating or cooling, without the ability to charge your devices. It's a grim picture, isn't it? That's why looters will be on the prowl for these essential items. They're not just for personal use. These resources can be traded or sold at exorbitant prices, taking advantage of the desperate need for power. A canister of propane or a car battery could be worth more than gold in a society plunged into darkness. And let's not forget about transportation. Gasoline becomes liquid gold, powering vehicles for those quick getaway rides or enabling generators to bring temporary light and warmth. Remember, power equals survival. In a lawless world, firearms and ammunition are a means to power. They're the keys to control and intimidation when society's rules no longer apply. When the balance of power is up for grabs, those who hold the guns often have the upper hand. Suddenly, a simple piece of metal can decide who gets the last can of beans, who gets to stay safe, and who gets to call the shots. Looters understand this all too well. They know that firearms and ammunition are high-value commodities, not just for their practical use, but also for the psychological advantage they confer. It's not uncommon for these items to be sold to the highest bidder, traded for essential goods, or used to establish dominance over a territory. In the chaos of a societal breakdown, the old adage rings true: might makes right. And in such times, guns don't just protect, they intimidate. Even in a post-apocalyptic world, electronics and tech devices hold value. It's a curious thing, isn't it? You might think that in a survival situation, looters would bypass the latest smartphone or gaming console, but you would be wrong. For some, these items represent a semblance of normality, a connection to the world that once was. While others see them as assets, items that can be bartered or resold, looters might not always be thinking rationally, but they know that these devices still have worth. They might sell them, trade them, or even strip them for parts and batteries. In times of chaos, devices like radios, cell phones, and laptops can become crucial survival tools. They offer a means of communication, a way to gather information, or just a light in the dark. Tech devices are more than just luxury items, they are survival tools. Looters also target alcohol, tobacco, and comfort items. Now, these may not be the first things that come to mind when you think about survival, but in a world turned upside down, these items become a sort of luxury currency. Why are they in demand? Well, the answer is simple. They provide a sense of normalcy and relief in a chaotic, stressful situation. A bottle of whiskey or a pack of cigarettes can be a comforting reminder of better times, an escape from the harsh reality, even if just for a moment. So, what do looters do with these comfort items? Some might consume them, seeking solace in the familiar. Others might resell them, capitalizing on the high demand for these rare pleasures. But perhaps the most cunning among them will use these items as barter leverage, trading them for more essential supplies. Remember, in times of chaos, comfort can be a powerful bargaining chip. Tools and hardware can be as valuable as food in a long-term crisis. They have a universal appeal, as they are necessary for both survival and recovery. Whether it's a simple hammer or a complex power drill, these items are in high demand when society's framework begins to crumble. Saws, axes, and hammers are not just tools for building, they can also be used as weapons or for breaking into locked areas. Knives, while they have obvious uses in a survival scenario, can also be used for hunting or self-defense. And let's not overlook the value of items like nails, screws, and other fasteners. In a world where repair is crucial, these small items can become as precious as gold. What will looters do with these tools? Some will use them for their intended purposes, building shelters, repairing equipment, or even creating new tools. Others may use them for more nefarious purposes, such as breaking into homes or as weapons. And then there are those who will see the trading value in these items. A good tool can bring a high price in a world where replacement parts are scarce and there's no hardware store around the corner. Never underestimate the power of a good tool. A working generator or solar setup is a beacon for looters. In a world where the grid has gone down, these items become the lifeblood of survival. They are in high demand because they provide a lifeline, a way to keep lights on, to power essential equipment, to maintain a semblance of normalcy in an otherwise chaotic world. But remember, these power sources are not just valuable to you, they're valuable to anyone who can get their hands on them. Looters might be looking to light up their own camps, to sell for a hefty price, or perhaps to strip them down for parts. These items are not just tools for survival, they're symbols of resourcefulness and preparedness, things that can draw unwanted attention in a crisis. So while generators and solar gear can be your saving grace, they can also make you a target. Power supplies are a magnet for unwanted attention. Water, the essence of life and a prime target for looters. When the world turns upside down, bottled water disappears in the blink of an eye, and municipal water systems can fail just as fast. The reason? Water is life. Without it, survival is limited to a matter of days. As for filtration gear, it becomes a hot commodity for the same reason. It's a ticket to a sustained water supply when clean water is scarce. Now, who'd be after your water and filtration gear? Everyone, from the desperate neighbor to the organized looter gangs. And their plans for it? Drink it, of course, but that's not all. They might trade it for other valuable supplies, or even use it as a control mechanism. In a world gone dry, those who control the water control survival. Remember, protecting your water means protecting your very existence. Control the water, control the survival. When gas runs out and roads clog, bikes, scooters, and even spare car parts become priceless. In a world where fuel is a scarce resource, alternative modes of transportation rise in value. Bicycles and scooters, long overlooked, become the new currency of the road. They offer mobility, the ability to navigate through congested streets and require no fuel. Equally valuable are spare parts for vehicles. A single functioning vehicle can become a lifeline, a means of escape, a tool for scavenging resources, or even a symbol of power. But without spare parts for maintenance and repair, vehicles quickly become useless hunks of metal. What do looters do with these newfound treasures? Some might use them for personal transport, navigating the chaotic streets with newfound ease. Others might strip them for parts, trading these valuable components for other crucial supplies. And for the more entrepreneurial spirits, they become commodities for reselling. In the end, remember this: mobility is freedom in a SHTF scenario. Survival isn't just about food and water. Staying warm and dry is critical. In the aftermath of a disaster, clothing and cold weather gear become highly sought-after commodities. It's not just about comfort, but survival. Especially in colder regions where exposure can lead to hypothermia in a matter of hours. These items are in high demand because they're essential for maintaining body temperature and protecting against the elements. Quality gear can mean the difference between life and death in harsh conditions. It's not just about coats and boots either. Hats, gloves, scarves, and even thermal underwear can be lifesavers. Looters aren't just looking for these items for themselves. With the right gear being hard to come by, they can trade or sell these items at a high price. Some may even stockpile clothing and cold weather gear, waiting for the demand to spike as temperatures drop. Remember, clothing isn't just about staying warm, it's about staying alive. So, what can we learn from this? In times of chaos, resources like food, medication, and power sources become high-value targets. Valuables, firearms, and even tech devices aren't far behind. And let's not forget the barter power of alcohol, tobacco, and comfort items. Tools, generators, water, and transport are all critical for survival and thus prime looter targets. And in colder regions, clothing and cold weather gear are just as important as food and water. Each of these items is a potential lifeline, a currency, a tool for power, or a means of survival. But remember, knowing what looters will hunt for is only half the battle. The other half is taking steps to protect these items and, by extension, your safety. So stay vigilant, stay informed, and above all, stay prepared. Because when it comes to survival, the best defense is a good offense. Stay prepared, stay safe.